Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for July 8th. July 8th is the 189th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 190th in leap years, with 176 days remaining to the end of the year. For today's word, we're going to stray from the horse-themed motif a little bit. Today's word is Oakley, which presents as a noun, meaning a complimentary ticket or pass. Also known as an Annie Oakley, after the sharpshooter Annie Oakley, who lived from 1860 to 1926. She was renowned for her skill as a sharpshooter. This usage of the word and the way it might resemble one of her bullet-riddled targets. Earliest documented use of the word Oakley in this context is around 1910. And with that, this is the birthday of Italian Baroque painter Artemesia Gentileschi, born July 8, 1593. It is unusual to find a female creative, especially from this time period, but her dad was a painter, so she had early exposure to art. As I understand it, her mother died when she was about 12, and she began to show more interest in her father's career path, painting. Her father followed the style of Caravaggio, whose work employs dramatic use of lighting, and like father, like daughter, Artemesia painted that way too. Her earliest surviving work is a painting called Susanna and the Elders, which was done when she was 17. She made this painting when she's 17. I could probably do a whole episode on Artemesia Gentileschi, but we do have other subjects to cover. So I'll just say that she was an amazing artist who lived an interesting life. The exact date of her death is unclear, but it was likely in the mid-1650s, which would have her living into her early 60s. On July 8, 1663, Charles II of England granted John Clark a royal charter to Rhode Island. In those days, a royal charter was pretty important if you wanted to settle an area. Now, we've talked in the last few days, over the last week or so, about the Declaration of Independence, the Liberty Bell, and so on. And on July 8, 1776, church bells, possibly including the Liberty Bell, were rung after the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence of the United States. This is the birthday of American chemist and pharmacist John Pemberton, born July 8, 1831. He's the inventor of a temperance drink that he intended to sell as a patent medicine. Initially, he was aiming for a morphine-free alternative painkiller and came up with Coca-Cola. His failing health and looming bankruptcy prompted Mr. Pemberton to sell most of his rights to Coca-Cola shortly before his death in 1888. He was 57 when he passed. This is the birthday of Swiss-American psychiatrist Elizabeth Kübler Ross, born July 8, 1926. She's best known for her book On Death and Dying, where she explains the concept of the 5 stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. She lived to the age of 78. On July 8, 1947, reports were broadcast that a UFO had crash-landed in Roswell, New Mexico, in what came to be known as the Roswell Incident. Today's song is Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb, number 1 on July 8, 1978. 7878. Shadow Dancing is a disco song that was released in April of 1978. This one hit number 1 in the Billboard Hot 100 on June 17th and held that spot for 7 weeks. Shadow Dancing went on to platinum record status. Shadow Dancing by Andy Gibb, number 1, July 8th, 1978. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.